Ce n'est pas une défaillance de votre téléviseur. N'essayez donc pas de régler l'image. Nous maîtrisons à présent toute retransmission. Nous contrôlons les horizontales et les verticales. Nous pouvons vous noyer sous un millier de chaînes ou dilater une simple image jusqu'à lui donner la clarté du cristal, et même au-delà. Nous pouvons modeler votre vision et lui fournir tout ce que votre imagination peut concevoir. Pendant l'heure qui vient, nous contrôlons tout ce que vous allez voir et entendre. Nous partagerons les angoisses et les mystères qui gisent dans les plus profonds abysses.
Au-delà, vivre.
C'est la vérité. Ce qu'il y a dans cette lettre, c'est la vérité. George Washington était un cannibale, Michael. C'était un démon, un meurtrier, un mangeur d'enfants. Mais il a aussi été choisi pour être le père de notre nation et cette image est plus importante que la réalité. L'histoire, Michael, est un mythe. Ce n'est pas seulement une collection de noms, de dates et d'événements. C'est un système de croyances qui, en fin de compte, en dit plus sur les personnes qui partagent ces croyances que les véritables participants aux événements historiques eux-mêmes. On nous a appris à l'école que George Washington était le père de la nation, que Lincoln avait libéré les esclaves, et c'est l'image qu'ils ont laissée, vous comprenez. Mais si nous sommes ce que nous sommes en tant que nation, c'est parce que nous avons cru à cette image. À l'image que l'on nous a appris à croire. Oui, mais laissez-moi vous parler des historiens, Michael. Les historiens ne s'intéressent pas à la vérité. Ils ne s'intéressent pas aux faits. Ça ne les intéresse pas d'enseigner au peuple ce qui s'est vraiment passé. Non, ils sont beaucoup plus concernés par le fait de perpétuer les mensonges qu'ils se sont engagés à défendre. Ils ressemblent plus à des politiciens vus sous cet angle. Je vais vous montrer quelque chose. En fait, c'est un club très fermé. Les personnes qui connaissent les vraies raisons de nos déclarations de guerre ou qui savent ce qui se passe vraiment derrière les portes fermées des grands de ce monde. Oui, c'est un club très fermé et ils veulent à tout prix qu'il reste fermé. Mais certains d'entre nous sont restés altruistes, des personnes comme moi et d'autres, qui veulent apprendre et partager ce qu'ils ont appris. Mais vous savez, la plupart des historiens ne sont en fait que des spécialistes en relations publiques du passé. Alors les Américains préféraient penser que George Washington était un grand homme. Ils voulaient qu'il soit le père de la nation. Ils avaient besoin qu'il soit le père de la nation. C'est pourquoi ils étaient trop heureux de croire ce que nous, les historiens, leur avons appris à croire. Mais George Washington n'était pas le gentil vieux monsieur qu'il paraît être aux yeux du monde. En fait, c'était un monstre.
But time and time again in my research, I come, well, eye to eye with something that's even hard for me to believe. And that's that the elite, again, the so-called establishment kings, those that know best, the visions of the anointed ones, are obsessed with the occult, from presidents to governors to the heads of industry. We've all seen the stories of presidents and first ladies obsessed with their astrologers, making national policy decisions upon their recommendations. Spiritual guides, shamans in the White House. My friends, it gets far worse than that. Now, I personally am a Christian, but even an atheist should be concerned about the information we're about to bring forward in this new documentary film, The Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Club, as it's known today, was founded in 1873 in San Francisco in Northern California. Many of the club's original annals, dating back to before the turn of the century, admit that local artists, writers, newspapermen, you name it, wanted a place away from the so-called backwardsness of the West Coast, the Judeo-Christian ethic. They found that place an hour and a half north of San Francisco, outside of the tiny town of Monterey. Their annals even admit an obsession with the occult and what they called druid rituals. Amongst the great redwood trees, they revived ancient ceremonies that in truth had their roots not in the druids, but in Babylon itself. It is absolutely central to understand that these bizarre activities have been engaged in going back to 1873 and are not some new fanciful whim of the trendies on the West Coast. By the turn of the century, there was already a 10 to 15-year waiting list. Presidents from Howard Taft to Herbert Hoover were on the membership roster. Not to mention, later, famous war general Dwight D. Eisenhower, later to become president. The roster of the Bohemian Club reads like a who's who of the elite. Look at this photo taken inside the Grove back in 1963. There you'll see Ronald Reagan. And sitting two people over from him, later to become president, Richard Milhous Nixon. Frankly, we don't know if these men actively enjoy the things that go on inside the Bohemian Club. But one thing is perfectly certain from the evidence. They are forced to go and attend and take part in these activities if they wish to be elevated to the highest levels of the geopolitical power structure. Take George Bush Sr., documented member. And then, of course, there's his son. Now, the last 4 generations of Bushes have also attended the Skull and Bones Society at Yale, well known to be steeped in the occult. Then there's Bill Clinton, a frequent attendee. Upon closer inspection, the entire federal government at the highest levels is infested with Bohemian Club members. And it doesn't stop there. America's private run-for-profit Federal Reserve Bank, from its very inception in 1913, has been run by prominent members of the Bohemian Club. Central Bank Chairman Alan Greenspan was seen leaving the Bohemian Grove only 1 month before he was appointed chairman of the Federal Reserve. He had to be a made man, to be a member of the most powerful cabal on the planet. Historical records are clear from major universities. The Manhattan Project was planned and instituted and run from the Bohemian Club. It was the night of July 15th, 2000. Mike Hansen and I were about to attempt the first ever successful infiltration of the Bohemian Grove. Others have tried and failed. No one has ever actually made it in and out with video evidence. After careful planning, we decided the best tactic would be to insert ourselves about a half mile from the main entrance into the heavily wooded area, entering the gorge by stealth and getting into the main parking area. From there, we posed as Bohemian Club members, thus entering the inner sanctums of the New World Order.
Oh, good. Hey, how are you?
Good. See you. Your brother. Your father visited and all?
Yeah, yeah.
So that Marty thing was like...
Here you can see the bottom of the stone owl with the altar and the eternal flame, a Aladdin lamp-style urn that continually burns year-round, we're told. And here's a side shot from about 30 yards away of Moloch, the Canaanite deity to which children were sacrificed to in Babylon. Yet another slowed down close shot. Again, the internal flame burning, the altar, the bottom extremities of the 40-plus foot stone deity, and there is a shot of its head as well. Again, we've slowed down this video because we only actually had about 5 seconds of it on our hidden cameras, so you can have a chance to get a closer look at it. You will see it during the ceremony. Speaking of the ceremony, we were on the left-hand side of the lake about 150 yards downstream beneath those large redwood trees. Much of the ritual you're going to witness took place on the right-hand side of the lake and at the northern tip beneath Moloch.
learn that me ye cannot slay. Year after year ye burn me in this grove, lifting your puny shouts of triumph to the stars. But when again ye turn your faces to the marketplace, do ye not find me waiting as of old? Fools to dream ye conquer care.
Nay, thou mocking spirit, it is not all a dream. We know thou waitest for us when this our sylvan holiday has ended. We shall meet thee and fight thee as of old, and some of us prevail against thee, and some thou shalt destroy. But this too we know. Year after year within this happy grove, our fellowship bands thee for a space. And thy malevolence which would pursue us here has lost its power under these friendly trees. So shall we burn thee once again this night, and in the flames that eat thine effigy, we shall read the sign, Midsummer sets us free.
Ye shall burn me once again. Not with these flames, which hither ye have brought from regions where I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire.
Wow. Great central of all mortal wisdom, thou of Bohemia, we beseech thee, grant us thy counsel. With thy doubts, hail fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer sets us free.
This is an elaborate, occult, ritualistic entry into this group that they are now a member of for life.
This culture of death and the occult continues long after college. Later on in life, these pagan rituals carry on in the redwoods of Sonoma, California.
And what is the Bohemian Grove? Well, it's a kind of summer camp for the powerful, an all-male gathering in great secrecy.
This group was formed in the late 1800s by artists, industrialists, and politicians. Bohemian attendees worship the owl as their deity. The Aztecs, Mayans, and other natives of Mesoamerica considered the owl a symbol of destruction and death. This is why the opening ritual for the club is the cremation of care. During the ritual, the effigy of a baby is rowed across the water by the Grim Reaper and given to a high priest, who then tosses it on a fiery sacrificial altar of a 40-foot owl god. It is an earth-based ritual in which care is burned away. The conscience is symbolically cast aside so that they may ignore the pain they have inflicted on others for the advancement of their own agendas.
With this ceremony called the cremation of care,
that begins the two-week encampment where the body of dull care, symbolizing woes and concerns, is burned on an altar in front of a big owl statue. When that ceremony ends, they all start to cheer and yell.
You have to ask yourself why it is that somebody would want to do that, let alone these elite people. And if you look at the elite throughout history, many of the people that achieve pinnacles of power are into the occult. They seek a supernatural way to gain power.
Massive research on the occult. And one of the libraries we visited was that of Professor Tex Mars of Aeronautics. He also has written literally dozens of books on the occult. His library was very revealing about the obsession of elitists throughout history with the occult.
Front group after front group to conceal and really subvert. But behind all of these groups, there is a small cadre or elite, a core. And what you have done, I think, with the Bohemian Grove is you have exposed one of the premier organizations of the whole New World Order arrangement, you might say. Of course, we can go back in history, all the way back to ancient Egypt, Babylon, or Greece, Rome. And I think you're going to see sort of the roots of the Bohemian Grove.
Why are Christian conservatives such as the Bushes and Newt Gingrich attending the Grove?
And I recognize I'm not going to be invited to Renaissance Weekend or that Bohemian deal where Newt, Rush, and Dick all sit in a teepee naked beating on tom-toms.
Why does the media barely mention the Grove? Because many of them are in attendance. Late political cartoonist Phil Frank of the San Francisco Chronicle draws a reporter thinking about his loyalties to Bohemian Grove as he takes notes for a story.
Stories about what happens in these redwoods are hard to come by. A campground statue reminds Bohemians to keep their mouths shut about the Grove.
Many world events have been shaped at the Grove, including the creation of the atomic bomb.
Discussions at the Grove in the 1930s helped lead to the development of nuclear power and the atomic bomb.
Every Republican president since Calvin Coolidge has been a member, as well as many Democrats, including Jimmy Carter.
If you look at the membership lists of the Bohemian Grove and the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, a lot of the key level people are overlapping and are involved in numerous groups.
In addition to pagan rituals that take place there, this all-male club also deals with darker themes through the plays Montezuma, which feature Aztec human sacrifice, and Faust, which feature Mephisto. Some of these plays are disturbingly flamboyant. Many of the elitists have a penchant for cross-dressing and singing show tunes. Perhaps that is why much of the all-male staff also happen to be homosexuals.
Well, each year, many of them seem to have a stunt or try to come up with a stunt. Last year, in 1980, the popular button was Free the Fortune 500.
Bohemian Grove that I attend one time at a time. It is the most faggot goddamn thing you will ever imagine.
In 2004, the New York Post reported that gay porn star Chad Savage would be servicing moguls at the Bohemian Grove.